Okay. Hey, just saying howdy howdy. I'm gonna do a Battle of Ulsan with Tabletop Simulator. Let's get that going. Is that Keith joining?
Hey, Missy. No April today. Sick.
No,
Ex-
no
You want
problem.
some meat?
Yeah, guess, because now we got time, right?
Extreme. Do you mind muting, please?
I got enough closet now.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Keith, are you there?
Yes, I am.
Okay. Do you see my desktop fully? And do you
Yeah, you know, hold on. Let me get in there and watch your stream. Give me 2 seconds. I'm using an auxiliary laptop for. I'm using an auxiliary laptop to watch you. So give me a second. This is Peter Robbins from Facebook. Has minimized our application. Sit tight. Stream paused. I think we're good.
I don't understand that, but hold on. Let me
Yeah, I mean,
let me disconnect this. Give me a second.
sweat, bud.
I think that I just hit the wrong thing. That should do it better now.
All right, let me
You
check it
see
out.
my tabletop now? Tabletop
Yeah, I
simulator,
got
okay.
your TTS.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Alrighty, here we go. Alright, now this is gonna look weird, but if I reload it one more time, it'll actually clear it up. This is the kind of weird thing about the charts in the middle. See that? That's so weird. This map is kind of weird. But I have all the charts now embedded into the map. Can you see everything okay, everybody? Alright. So if I so
yeah,
now
you're a solid transmit on that.
so now I have all the charts embedded into the map, so you can see like target aspect ratios for torpedoes, which we'll get into at some point. We have
nice.
the attack tables for the Dawn of the Rising Sun modules. I think this is continued. This is the gunfire hit chance, which is basically the main thing we'll be looking at throughout. I'll get back to that. Firing arcs, so in case I ever yell out to the crowd, where the hell's my starboard wing, then you'll know how to correct me. So there's all that, in case it comes up. Alright. And then this, I think, is the sequence, which we'll try to follow pretty closely. And with that in mind, I'll show you the battle. We added in these tools. Tom was nice enough to make these. Protractor. I don't know why I'm not able to. Give me a second. Is it locked? Maybe I need to get the GM mode. Give me 1 second. Might be that I was locked. Okay. Yeah, that's what it was. It was weird. So these are really cool because they have like colliders built into them. You can throw them under the ships. I'll probably keep them away for most of the action. We'll just put them in there if we have a question about which aspect we're in, etc. Alright. So these are Russians. Let me correct this just a little bit. We have the... Hold on. That was kind of anticlimactic. Why is there no... Did I not put the... Oh, come on. I must have saved this later. I think what I must have done is removed it. Okay, let's take a look at the scenario then. Sorry about that. I assume you can see my PDF here. Oh, come on. Here we go. Got the Rossia, Gromovoy, and the Rurik. I just don't remember where everybody is. I think what I had done is I had replaced the models in here with newer models. And didn't rename them, so apologies for that. And then the Izumo, Azuma, Idzumo. This is historical. It was spelled Idzumo. Zuma. And I can't remember the others. Tokiwa, Iwata, Tokiwa. Iwate. Okay, get this out of the way as well in case we need it. We need it. If we don't, we don't. Let's try to eyeball it as much as we can. Don't know why that's interesting. Okay. All right, so we then have the splash markers, which what we will do is use as large caliber and medium caliber markers for the sake of potentially using as there's a negative modifier if you have too much of the same caliber going at the same ship. Let's take a quick look at that.
Right.
And that is right. Let's see. Is there a over concentration? Long and extreme range bans only. By the way, too many ships firing at the same target. We generally roll that up as primary and secondary. I don't like to get too nitpicky on it. So if there's if the primary turrets for two ships are firing on the Zuma, for example, if both these ships were firing their primaries on Izumo, then we'd get that for each additional. So, all right, let's get going here. Generally speaking, let's start by just going through the turn real quick. Alright, so the tactical turn sequence. Plotting phase, players write down their movements, etc., etc. It's very much like Harpoon. Let's see if there's any gotchas here. We are going to be pretty much detected throughout. Let's check the distances. This is an inch per 100 yards. And I can write that out here if it will help any. So, see if I can get this. Of course not. He's blessed. Let's delete all that. Alright, so just keep in mind that 1 inch is 100 yards. So, for example, if we just went out, 300 yards, 500 yards, etc., 1,000 yards, these should be 85 inches roughly. Yeah. So this is 8,400 yards to start with. We are well outside of our extreme ranges. Let me get the ship sheets ready here. For example, if the Rossia was to fire, they have extreme ranges. These actually are incorrect because these are still the original Dawn of the Battleship ranges. I think it's out to 1,500. Just give me 15,000. Hold on a second. No. 10,000 and beyond for the large caliber for 1904 and 5. I think all these ships are 0 star standard. So we're not going to be, we're at long range right now, which if you look at this chart, you got an 8% chance of hitting. 6% chance, of course, that's unmodified. But so what I'm going to do is probably speed us up a little bit till we get to about medium range, and then we'll kind of go from there. That's when you start getting up into the 16% range. Pretty much to speed up gameplay, what helps is if just go ahead and roll for your primary and your secondary. Just do a generic roll, and if you don't get under 40, don't even bother looking up the modifiers. Right, it just speeds up game, yeah, a lot. Let's see. I need to bring in some index cards. Where's it here? Put them here. Don't know why. This table is so weird. It's because it's a flex table, and because we flex the size of it, it kind of screws up the. Yeah, there's like a fake. Collision thing going on there. All right, so what we'll do is we will. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. We will call this the. We'll just have these ready for when we want them. It's Rick. And as soon as we go through this like once or twice, it'll be speed up here. Let's go ahead and do the same over here. And we'll just kind of flip them out as we need them. Once you establish it once, it pretty much, you just adjust it as you go. So this will speed up. Alright. So now we're going to just kind of speed up time. Let's check some of these knots, how fast we can go. I think they started at 10 knots each.
Japanese are at 10.
I think they're both at 10, so they're at 125 and 10, 10, 10. I think we will. What I did last time is sped every bit up to 14. Let's take a look at the modifiers, see how that's going to affect anything. As you can see, it does start to become a target modifier at about a little bit more at 13 and higher. So this is based on the target though. So if you go faster and you are quarter or broad, then
Yeah, I was about to say your aspect really comes into play, right?
yeah, it comes into play as you. Yeah, it's a little bit more than I would have thought, right? Just a tiny bit. But if you're at 19, let's just say you're hauling it, you're at 20 knots if you can make it. Let's see, you're at narrow aspect, you're -1. So no matter what, the faster you are, the harder it is for you to get hit, of course. And again, keep in mind these are target modifiers. And then that, I think that threw me off last time. Let's see, number of barrels firing. So I will be using that as far as last time we played this. We kind of tried to. I think we grouped things up a little bit too much because some of the turrets have different aspects potentially to the target.
Right. Right.
And we were doing that. I think we were rolling that up a little bit too much. So what I'm going to do is just do it by each turret will have its own role and determination, and then the casemate broadsides, if you will, or quick fire, um, low caliber, which we're probably not going to use. So let's see. So just keep that in mind. I think we were gonna. I think what I did last time is I brought everybody up to about 14 knots, and then I just did. Let's just do 2 tactical turns. Okay. All right. So I had this spelled out last time, and now it's completely out of my head. Give me 1 second. I think I computed this last time. I'm pretty sure per tactical it was 1 for 1. So if you went 14 knots, you would go 14 inches. Unless I'm mistaken, please correct me on that. That's 14. Hold on, I did that. I computed this out. I apologize. I had this ready.
You sound like me.
Well, I had it all spelled out the first time I played it. Of course, now I don't remember where I put half my stuff. But I had done it in a. Might even done it here. Excuse me if there's any weird stuff on here. No, that's not it. I can't remember. It was like it would be 20 inches in an hour, right? So it's like 20. Yeah, it's just inch per knot, pretty much within a. If I recalled correctly, it was an interesting computation because you basically came out in the wash, right? So like per tactical, it basically, if you're going 14 knots, you're gonna go 14 inches. Let's compute that. And
Go ahead. I want to see your math on it because you're probably better at math than I am.
well, hold on. I had this already. I apologize. Okay, so a knot is what, 2,000 yards in an hour, and you divide it by
Yeah,
20. Hold on, let's take
2025. Yeah.
I think it comes out in the wash. Watch this.
Yeah, I mean 2000 works best for this situation.
And then it's by 3 minute period, which is 20, right?
There you go.
So then it's times, and there's your yard. There's your yards, and then we're doing 1 yard
It's like
per inch.
in the books what they're saying is you had 2 zeros at the end of your knots and you're gonna come up with the 3 minute.
Yep. So all
So
that
yeah,
just to come up. My math was
your
correct.
your math checks out
All
based
right,
on
there
what the
we go.
authors say.
All right, so we're gonna go. I think what we'll do is we'll fast forward 2 turns basically. So I'm gonna.
And you said at this scale on the table it's 1 inch is 1 nautical mile.
No, 1 inch is
Or
100
1,000.
yards.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, right.
Sorry.
So 10 inches is 1,000 yards. 14 inches is 1,400 yards. So that's why
Right.
you go 1,400 in that time period in 3 minutes, right? And then that's why.
Oh yeah. Wow.
All right. So then let's do this. We're gonna go. As you can see, it kind of keeps you if you use the tab. I don't know how much you've used tabletop.
Yeah, it's been a while. I've played other
So-
like tabletop and board games, not this. So
Right. So there's
yeah.
14 inches. I'm gonna go ahead and pull it down 28 inches. Let's see how far 2 tacticals goes. This is we're speeding up time here a little bit, everybody. All right. So we'll do the same. Keep them at 14 knots. So that's 1 tactical's worth. I'm actually going to turn a little bit and do the same. Oh, actually, I don't want to go that far. Just another 14 real quick. I think I will.
No, you're accommodating for like the turn, right?
Yeah.
Is that what you're doing?
Yeah, exactly. Like, so
Yeah,
that.
yeah.
So technically, they would have had to go a little bit further before they could turn within that tactical. But yeah, I'm just kind of winging it at this point.
Sure. I ain't. Yeah,
I'm gonna
I
go
got
just
you.
a little bit. So the problem with Tabletop Simulator is that, as you can see, it only has 15-degree turn radius. Now, there are widgets you can do and apply them to individual degrees, but it's not something we've done here.
Yeah, I
All
was
right.
about to say I don't think I've used TTS where angle mattered so much as this, but yeah.
All right. So what I'm going to do? Let's just go another. I'm going to
Eh,
just bring us in a little bit further. Let's see how. And again, I just want to try to get some better shots out.
yeah.
So we're at 6,500 now. Let's go look at the ranges here. It would be, where was it? Here. So we're getting into the long. Let's
Mm,
go. Let's just.
mm-hmm.
Yeah, we're taking pot shots. We're taking pot shots. Bing, bing, bang. All right, let's go a little bit closer now.
Yeah, you're ranging out. That makes sense.
All right, so then I'm gonna go for it. I think technically, let's go look at those ships because I think you. Let's just talk about that just a little bit. So you do need to advance 300.
What are you gonna look up?
I'm looking at the maneuvering data on the Zuma sheet. If you can see it, I think I should have it in front. Do you see it here?
Oh, gotcha.
All right.
Yeah, I'll just look it up.
And these are the computed ones. The standard turn or hard turn. Standard turn would be you have to go 300 yards, so you got to go 3 inches before you can turn, and then a speed loss of up to per 45 degrees 3. My assumption is that any turn up to that, or is that can you go up to that and not have that? I would think that you'd. I think it's just per. So no matter what, if you only did a 20-degree turn, you'd still have to do that. So we are going to slow down, I think.
Rational
Technically,
game logic would make sense to me. You're gonna lose some speed if you turn, right? I mean,
right. Right. So again, though, we're kind of in speed up mode, so I'm not going to do that for either
sure.
side. But then we're going to enact the rules here in a minute. All right. So then we are going to go 14. Not perfect. I think we're going to try to probably go out a little bit. These guys are going to kind of. I am going to give them a little bit and come in. That messed up. And then we'll start firing and play for reals. It's kind of difficult to keep the angles. Actually, we're going to be in pretty close here. Alright, so let's give them. Let's just keep it like that. Alright, so it's been, what, roughly over 10, 15 minutes or so? 10, 12 minutes in?
Yeah, that's what I think you're looking at 12
So
ish.
they close pretty well. Alright, this is more like it. Alright, so let's go look back at our turn, make sure we've done everything appropriately. Okay, so we did our plotting. We just finished our movement. Now we're going to do plan fire phase. All weapons ordered to fire in the current turn's plotting phase. Actually, I probably should have done that. What we'll do is we'll fire all primary and secondary at each other. Plan fire phase, detection phase. Detection were already detected. Reaction phase. So, the reaction phase, I think you get like half your DP if you hit. And that's for the sake of if somebody's just come into detection zone. We're well,
Hmm.
if we look at, I'll bring up the rules just for a second. If we look way back, just to help show people why I'm not even bothering, is the fact that here we go. We're at 90% visibility in this scenario. I believe we are all size B. Let's check that. Yes, we are size B. So B on B, you're talking
Quite a bit.
30,
Yeah.
32 thousand, right, yards.
Hmm. Hmm.
So, which is 320 inches plus. And if I recall correctly, this
Yeah.
is
You're 100% on the 32
it's
nautical or kiluyards.
well
Pardon me,
beyond
the
the
22.5.
beyond the
Yeah.
size of the table. So
Yeah. There's not much chance of them missing each other right
right,
now.
exactly. So that's just wanted to make sure people understood that. All
I'm
right,
sorry, and I'm not meaning to jump in,
no, no,
Peter.
no, go for it. No, no, I'd rather
I'm,
honestly. It
I'm
keeps
just talking about the game.
makes me go insane if I talk to myself too much on the. All right,
I get it.
all right. So now the firing's about to start. Let's let
I think wouldn't it, and it almost would be because they were aware, so you'd get into almost a queued visual search too, which is that -20, right? I mean, wouldn't that seem rational?
I'm sorry, say that again.
Like, so far as the modifiers for the probability of detection, you'd get like the queued visual search is a -20 to the roll, -20%. So I
I
mean,
don't see
you're
that
really
here.
looking at it. Look on your probability of detection, 4-3.
Oh,
Well, you might not have that one on your note cards, but there you go. Go down. I've got the PDFs up on my other laptop. Next page. Yeah, see down at the bottom of that chart, you got the queued visual. Like they know that there's a presence of enemy fleet. Keep going
mm-hmm.
down. Look at the very bottom. There you go. Right there. So I mean, the rational my brain would say, they're really looking for each other. Well, on one side at least. So and that really is a big modifier on a percentile roll. So
Acute visual search. Why would that? Okay, that's
uh,
for your roll. That's for your roll. Okay.
yeah, that's a modifier to
Yeah,
your
and
yeah,
then
your
let's take a look at this.
mhm.
So then probability detection. So the visibility range was I think we had
So
it
you get
about.
under
I think it's about here.
42.5%. That's not hard. Yeah.
I think we're right here. Is that right? I think we were about here.
Yeah.
Interesting, but we're way down here, right? Really? We're within
Oh,
this.
yeah, 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 yeah.
We're within. As a matter of fact, we. Oh, the scenario started. Let me just start with that. The scenario started here, so.
No, we're talking kiloyards here though.
Oh yeah, you're right.
So you're back up the top, aren't you?
Yeah, you're right. Visibility.
Well, I'm
Yeah, no, no,
sorry
no. You're
for
right. No,
your
no, no,
training
no,
because
no.
we were talking like
No, I was
32
just.
kiloyards.
I got confused as to what this chart was actually showing me. Okay.
Yeah, no, that's cool.
We are
I was
at
working
that
through it this
range.
morning, so it's fresh in my brain. So we're looking at the 32 line.
Yeah.
I mean, even if you rolled 76, you're still looking at 42.5 kiloyards of visibility detection.
This is
So,
throwing me off. Why? I don't. This for some. Oh, visibility range. I don't understand why this is split out. What
well,
am I seeing here? It's
it's
throwing me
it's
off.
it's kind of a weird metagame aspect to me. I've been pondering that too, and I get it. I mean, there's percentages of failure. People aren't paying attention. Uh, I mean, it's really it's metagame concept to me because I've played other games, but this is a new one to me. But there's an error of failure, and I guess arbitrarily they said 10, 25, 50%, 75%, 100%.
But what is
All
what is determining that?
I don't know. I mean, once again, that's where I think the arbitrary comes in. That's what the authors decided would work for their game.
Okay, so by default, you're pretty much using this, right?
Mm, well, I mean, it
But
depends on how you roll. But yeah, I mean, just for the basis of what I'm saying even if you were to roll above 75 and get the worst result with the modifier, the 100% comes into play because you could technically be taking 20% off of your roll.
uh-huh.
So it's kind of a placeholder. Maybe that's the best term. I don't know. Anyway, I'm sorry to derail you. Go
No, no.
ahead with what you're doing.
Well, here it is, right here. This is what
Uh huh. Which
percent
we're on
percent is.
Ulsan.
But okay, so then I'm here. So then that gives me this sighting range, and then we use the sighting range here.
32.5. Yeah, or whatever it is.
But
Yeah, either way, they're close.
what is doing what is modifying that? Is that my roll?
That's your roll. That's your
Okay, so
roll results right
that
there.
for some reason that doesn't sound right to me. I don't know why. Right?
Let me
Shouldn't that
see
just
here.
say your roll? This
Yeah.
this
I mean,
header is that was. I'm glad we talked about this because this
there's
header
there's
was
a
throwing
there's
me
a
off.
three step deal, and honestly, seriously, I was working on this morning, and that's why. Uh, like literally, I just built a spreadsheet page strictly devoted to detection for Dawn of Battleships because I was stumbling over. It's like you've got 3 steps here. Seems like there's one too many, but I get it.
Okay,
the
so this
The
again, if
sighting
this
range table is like a potential,
right, right, exactly.
whereas
All right, now
probability detection is your actual, and that can be modified on both of those. I mean, The sighting range table, that has modifiers based on like smoke, coal burning ships blowing off black smoke at higher speeds. So you could move tables first of all, and that determines the probability roll table. So I mean, I'm not saying it's a bad system by any means. It's just very in depth and it's multi-step, and you got to have it down because it's pretty damn important so far as this game.
For larger range, yeah.
Sure,
Right.
absolutely.
So then, okay, but I still feel like at least within where we're at.
Oh yeah, I agree with your
And that's why I didn't
read. I mean,
that's why I didn't reread it, and that's why hence my question. All right.
I mean, feel justified, and I'm just saying, like I said, they already know that they should be aware of enemies inbound. That they're definitely going to have an even better chance than you think. So go for it.
Okay. Let's take these bad boys. We are going to start firing. What is our range? We have to start with the Japanese. 48.5. So base 16%. Let's go ahead and just do this out a little bit more than we would normally do. So what are our modifiers going to be? Let's do this slow. Hopefully it'll speed up over time. C state is 3. Okay, so that's for your class of ship. All right, that makes sense too. So we're all Bs. We're at a C state of 3. I believe the scenario said 3.
Mm-hmm.
Make sure. That's actually 2. Alright, visibility is not less than or equal to 20% or one target. Okay, we're not doing that. Battle smoke is not present. Do you happen to remember how many turns the battle smoke becomes present? I think it's after 5 turns of firing.
I'll be glad to look. Yeah, I mean,
yeah,
man, you absolutely know more about their games than I do. I'm brand spanking new.
Ship not being fired.
Let me see here. You said battle smoke. What are we trying to like affect on firing?
I just don't know when it shows up. I think it's after 5.
Hold on.
Here, I can find it.
Let's see. Battle smoke appears after 5 tactical turns of combat. Reduced surface visibility by 1 table. So after 5 tactical turns, 15 minutes, we're going to reduce by 1 table on the sighting range table. So you're good still.
And that's it there. But then when do you take this modifier? But that modifier, it's just flat out present. Negative.
Well, battle smoke is present after 5 tactical turns. So we would deal with real world 15 minutes, 5 tactical turns in game time. Right. And then you would start taking that -2, provided people are firing, I assume. You know,
right, that's what I was thinking.
Why wouldn't they be?
Well, they won't be. Yeah, we can probably assume that. But that's interesting.
Sure.
So both sides are going to get that. But okay, all right. So,
well, not yet, right?
Right. We'll just start the clock now.
I mean, because nobody's fired yet. You absolutely. I mean, obviously, on the first shot, you wouldn't take the negative because nobody's fired.
All right. Okay. So okay, so that's not the case. We're not +1 for that. We're not over concentration because we're not doing that. Firing ships at speeds greater than 12. We get a -1 on that. So let's take a -1. So it's -1 for speed. Okay, guns are described as slow firing or quick firing. I don't believe they are slow firing. Firing ship target or both change course by greater than 10%. Firing ship target or both changes course by greater than 10%. I don't think we did.
So
not here, but these guys did change course. So these guys will have that modifier when they fire on them because they did change course by 10 degrees within this turn. So these guys are going to get that modifier, but these guys won't because these guys were straight. They weren't turning.
Yeah, I was about to say. Yeah, that should come into play because the Japanese did turn more than 10%, right?
At least
or 10 degrees. I mean,
yes, within this tactical turn.
Okay.
So slow firing.
Let's see.
I
Our
don't like
firing
the
ships.
Azuma.
How fast were the Russians going in this? I
They're
forget.
both well. They
10
were at
knots.
10, but I had brought them up to 14.
Okay.
And then we're looking at Azuma.
Slow
Second
firing.
Azuma.
Surely those are slow fires, right?
They're not.
Really?
The eight
Wow.
inch, the 8 inch 45s.
Oh, okay. Smaller shells. That
Um,
makes sense.
let's see, 8 inch 45. Where is my index?
I was about to say I've got it up too. If you want me to look for some.
Sorry, I'll look.
And if I have to bail out, I apologize. I want to stay with you the whole time, but I got family duties downstairs. So
Yeah, if you have to step away at all, that's fine too. 8 inch. It's the export. It's the 8 inch pattern. See, they're not. These 8 inch
oh, the
45s
remarks.
are not. See the gun type right here. They're not.
Oh, quick.
They're
Yeah, yeah,
not
yeah.
slow fires. The 12 inchers would be,
Mm-hmm.
but not
That
not
that
these.
makes sense. I mean, they've got logistics of loading the shells. So yeah, I got it.
All right, so we
Cool.
are here. Number of barrels firing. I believe there's two in that front, but it really kind of doesn't. Oh, come on. Okay, there's two with two, fore and aft. I don't believe the fore should have it. I don't think the aft would be able to fire. The aft would be about like
Surely you
that.
don't have the arc.
Right, like that. Right, so forward arc of the front turret definitely does, and then the right casemate of it.
Yeah.
Okay, so then we'll do this. Let's just do the roll. There's not much other. There's no other modifiers. All right, so then I do this as the first one. 38 does not. Right. All right, so then their secondary. Let's just go ahead and roll before we can go through the whole thing. What do you get? 70. Nah. Primary and secondary. Blah blah. Didn't get. Did not get him. Did not get him. All right. Azuma. If Azuma wanted to fire on them, they would get that other modifier, but I probably won't, which is the over-concentration modifier.
Were they really?
Yep. If Azuma did their
Uh,
primaries or their secondaries, then they would get.
well, yeah, that's a good point. I guess over concentration is kind of like, for the sake of simplicity, it comes into play.
Hmm.
Well, I guess back up step. It's because the assumption of this simulation is everybody's firing all at the same time, so that makes sense. Okay.
So what I might do is put markers on these. This is actually how I do it. There's another game I play called You May Fire When Ready Gridley,
Mm-hmm.
and they have markers like this where you have to say who did what. Very similar. So what we'll
Mm-hmm.
do is we'll use these and then we'll copy them and we will name them something else. Alright, so let's just say for giggles they do fire on the same one. Alright, so then both are going to interfere with one another. Probably wouldn't do that, but I'm just going to do it to see how it looks. So the only additional modifier then would be over concentration, which would be a neg1. Neg1 for every one of those, it's actually 2%, right? You multiply those by 2, so the base was 16, so I don't know why he would do it. He probably wouldn't do it, right? I just wanted to show that or illustrate that. That
Mm-hmm.
basically reduces his percent chance by 2%, so he probably wouldn't do that. So let's go ahead and just try this. Let's see what we get, if it's even worth. No, it's not even worth. There's a primary.
I'm weird.
Secondary.
I like to rationalize the reasons for game mechanics, and you're right. They wouldn't start over concentrating their fire in the real world, mind you, because they're going to coordinate and concentrate as best as they can in 1904.
Right.
Uh,
What happened historically, which was interesting, was that I believe they all concentrated on the Rurik because it's slightly smaller, I think.
huh. Well,
And
and that's a legitimate strategy, but I
right.
mean, yeah, I mean, you better hope it works the first time,
And what was
because then,
interesting, yeah, I was just reading up on this one recently, and the Japanese were keeping each other at about 8,000 or 9,000 yards, which was weird. And they were getting,
mm,
and I think what they were doing is they were just firing at long range, really. And
Hmm.
somehow it was there was a certain pocket where the Russians were getting a little bit of a better result at that range, and then the Japanese kind of closed in a little bit. All
Hmm.
right, but
They dial in. They dial in. They
all
go
right. So
for
this
it. I
guy
guess.
fired. This guy fired. Let's just roll through. Primary miss. Secondary, that might 22. Probably not. Let's take a look. He would probably fire. He would probably fire on the rear. 5800. Let's just go through it so we don't just overly cheat here. Alright. The C state didn't modify it. It wouldn't be over concentration. He's going over that. So it's -1 for speed. No slow firing. No number of barrel fires. We are not within the optical rangefinder, which I think is 4500 for this type. We can look that up here in a second. And then let's look at target modifiers real quick. Let's throw one of these under it just to illustrate. Alright, so he's firing on this bad boy. Alright,
Nice.
and goes from here. We'll do center to center.
Oh
Look at
yeah.
that. That's like right within the broad.
I was about to say that's money right there.
Yeah, I'm gonna take a shot of that. That's
Ouch.
actually pretty cool. This is why this tool is very good, because you couldn't eyeball that. Alright, so
No,
that,
not at
that
all. You're
gave it
right.
a broad, and then that broad basically unmodifies it, right? Or it doesn't make it worse. Actually, still
There
neg
you go.
1, still neg 1 though. Oop, what was I doing? Yeah, we'll just use this one, sorry. These are screwy to mess with. So it was neg 1 for broad. And yes, I'll just go ahead and just genericize these. Alright. Again, let's double check that base.
Uh, Following along, it looks like you're right. I mean,
5800. Let's just double check that range real quick. Just so
we already know the sea state's clear enough to not affect speeds, the
it's a
aspect.
little bit further away, so it's actually a 14% base. You see that right there?
Oh
It's
yeah,
actually at
you're
a
right.
wrong. So it's a 14% base. These guys, it's neg 2, neg 2. Oh god, it's like neg 4%. So it's a
Mm-hmm.
14% base with neg 4, so you got 10% chance. So no, the 22 was not good. And that's why that's why to speed up gameplay, we just roll
Yeah.
primary and secondary. Alright, so no hits, pretty much. And let's go the other way. Let's take this. Alright, so we're firing here. The Rossia is firing at the Zumo. Where are you?
I'll be right back.
Mm-hmm. Port wing, starboard wing, port aft, starboard aft. Alright, so that's a 45-degree angle there. Let's use the angle marker on him. There we go. So his rear wing, his rear wings would not be able to get the Zumo, but would be able to get a Zuma. So right here. Actually, no, it would. There. The rear wing would get it. You see how it's in the 45-degree right there? Let's do that again. That's cool. This helps so much. Yeah, he gets the rear. So both his port side turrets can fire at him. Oop, what did I get into here? Okay, so both his port wing and his port aft can do it. So those are his primaries. Let's go ahead and roll for each of those real quick. Port wing, definitely wouldn't hit. 39%. 48% definitely wouldn't, so they missed. That would be 2 primaries. And then the side the casemates would fire. Take another look there. Oh, he's got a bow and a stern. A bow and a stern 152, which is a medium, I believe, 152. Let's go look at the chart. Yeah, 152 is within the medium, so he's at 5. Let's go range it again. He's at 48.5. 48.5. So this is still a base of 16 for him. So it's base 16. What else we got? Speed is neg 1 for own speed. What about aspect? Oops. That's interesting. I might have to move the ships here. I think we can do it the other way here. And it's of course the wrong one. Let me flip this. Okay, the aspect. These are a little, okay, I think that's good. Alright, so let's get that aspect. I think it's broad. Yeah, it's broad. So I think at that speed and that target, I think broad is neg 1. Or target at broad. Okay. And then we are doing not slow firing, or are they? Let's go double check that. For the Russia, are they slow firing? The 152s. Russia, 152. They are slow firing. Well, none of that's interesting, but I think these are actually the pattern 1884. Let's go look at that. That would be here. Give me a second. His 152s are pattern not 1982, 1892. Okay, so the bow and sterns are pattern 1892, 1892. Right. Give me a second. Ah, it's down here. Oh, they're actually quick firing.
Somebody get hit.
Trying to determine it. Just getting the modifiers on the 152. Um, he's firing his secondaries now. He had a port. He had a port wing and a port aft wing,
Oh.
and they both missed. But now I'm doing the secondaries. I'm just trying to go through the modifiers. I'm probably gonna miss, but I just wanted to go through the modifiers. So I'm on the 152 bow or stern. Let's see what he's got on that. I don't know. He might not even be able to hit. Now I mention it. Let's go look at that. Oh, those are very restricted. So no, those are 20 degrees and forward. Alright, so that's definitely not, because that's this way or that way. So that definitely doesn't hit. But he has casemates of that too. And these are, yeah, he's got 7 casemate quick firing. So 7 of these. Let's just roll for it. See if we should even bother. What do we get? 28, still won't get it. Even with the quickfire mod, it's definitely not going to get it. What is the quickfire mod? That's +2. It's not too bad. It's 4%. So that would still just bring you up to 16%. And I definitely didn't hit it. It's not easy to hit in this. Alright, so that misses miserably too. Alright. Alright, to speed up play, let's do Grumboy, Azuma, primary. Nope. Secondary. Nope. Speed up play, Rurik, Tokiwa. That might hit. Primary of the Rurik might have hit the Tokiwa. That very well could have hit. Okay. So let's do the needful. Triple check range 58. He's going for Tokiwa. Yeah, I'm still 58. I think that gets us up into another range. Yeah, so it's 14 base, so we're already not going to hit it, right? But let's see. Own speed is still -1. Target is broad aspect. Let's just check that. Of course, I love these. They're too close. Let's flip that. That's fun. Doesn't really matter. Okay, we might have to just wing it. I think it's broad. We'll have to eyeball that a little bit. I don't think I can get any closer. Tell you what. I think we might be splitting the line, so I do want to check it. Alright, so let's go. Boom. Boom. I think it's broad still. Yep. You see that? Wish I could zoom in at the same time, but it kind of...
Nah, I'll buy it.
Yeah, I think it went right about here. Alright.
Mm-hmm. That's what it looked like.
Alright, so we are broad, so that's still -1 at the speed, target broad. It was not quick fire, it was the primary of Rurik. Let's go look at that. these are quick fires. This definitely is not. I just want to see if it's a slow fire. So a 203 1884. It is a slow fire.
Yeah.
So that makes it
I'm
even
sorry, you
worse.
said the 203.35,
Well, it was
which is
the
84.
yeah. Hold on. Oh, bugger. It
Oh,
was this one right here, the 1884.
yeah, slow fire.
Just make sure that I right there, right? Yep. I need to let me go ahead and just put that here.
They've got the
At
form fillable sheet on their website, right?
yeah, but the form fillable sheet is don't look at these ranges because these ranges were based on the original Dawn of the Battleship instead of the
Okay.
Dawn of the Rising Sun. If you happen to be playing a Russo Japanese, and I think that they did correct that. This is the 1.1 version, which came out a couple days ago. I
Hmm.
think they did correct it down here, and you see that they did.
Oh yeah, got it. Okay. Yeah, I think that's the one
But
I have.
I need to go look at their site. I actually haven't looked at their website since they released this. They might have put new sheets up, but I'll ask them to put new sheets up. Okay, where was I?
I'll go look real quick.
1884 slow. Yeah, I'd be curious if they did change that, because that would help. All right, so 1884 slow firing is neg 2, I think.
Mm-mm. Oh wait, this isn't it.
It is
Though.
neg 2. Wow, that's a lot. We're not within the 4500. We need to look up the rangefinder here in a second. And then, yep, nope, that's a miss. Because we ended up with. I think it was. No, it was a 14 base. It was neg 2, so we're talking like neg 4 times. Wow, yeah. It's like a 6% chance. Right? So that's neg 4. You gotta multiply it, so it's neg 8 from that. Yeah, 6% chance to hit. Love it. Alright, so that's not happening. Alright, let's get all these out just for now. Okay. Alright, so. Alright, so now we're starting to get into. We're still at 14 knots. Might increase the speed on the Russians. What is their maximum on these? Rick. So now we're starting to get into. So they have to advance 3. They're going to lose 3 knots if they turn. Their max is 20. They're currently 14. How much can they accelerate? Let's go look at that real quick.
What are they? Fast or slow B?
Honestly, where does it even say that? Because I'd never seen that
Well,
on.
look at down at the bottom of that chart you were just on. It's got a fast ship. It's based on their maximum speed.
Ah, okay, yes, that would be a fast.
So that'd be fast
Yep,
speed.
sorry.
So
Alright, so acceleration
right.
from 70. So are we at? So we're 14 is below that, right? So it actually could go 4 more knots. So we can go up to 18 knots. Because we were just under the. We were 14
Hmm.
knots, we were just under that. So
I was gonna say they're fixing to jump up into their fast.
I think I'm going to try to speed the Russians up and see what happens. These guys are going to go 18 knots. And they're going to turn.
The Japanese were the aggressors in this, right?
The Russians were just trying to get home, really, at
Oh,
that
okay,
point.
yeah. So yeah, absolutely. They'd be hauling
They'd
ass.
probably hauling, yeah. I'm going to go ahead and get 18. These guys are still at 14. Keep me honest on that as I move. And then let's go. Alright, so they technically. I'm going to put a marker here. Let's get some markers because we're going to need them for torpedoes. Okay, I'm just going to put this back here in case we.
Yeah, sorry I keep asking. I haven't actually read the damn scenario breakdown, and I'm not a scholar on the conflict.
Alright, so I'm just doing that as a movement marker just in case we screw up this. Alright, so then. So these guys are hauling it up to 18 knots. And then so they have to go at least 300 or 3 inches before. So I'm going to use 3 inches to go forward first. That's how far I have to go before I can turn up to 45. And then I am gonna. I didn't want to do it like that. Why is it not? There we go. I'm gonna do that, and I'm going to. So they are gonna get the modifier this time as well, and we're gonna be at. So we used 3. So we used 3. We used 3 to go forward, and then we're going to lose 3 because of the turn. So we're back down to 15 knots at the end of this. So we slowed down at that point, so we can only go 12 here, right? Because we already went.
All right.
Alright, so there. I think I will. The assumption is that I've gone enough that I can do that too. So we went 3, turned, went 12, turned, and then actually we're going to be down to 12 knots, right? After all that?
Yeah.
Shoot.
So
Yeah.
you turned at the end. Well, yeah, that makes sense
Yeah,
because you
but
advanced enough, right?
right. So if I didn't do it, let's just say I didn't do that,
Mhm.
then I would still be at 15. And would my arcs be reasonable?
Yeah, but
Not
their
really.
aspects aren't as efficient, right?
Right.
Well, they're
So
broad to the Japanese. I mean,
yeah, it can go either way, but this is
yeah.
where movement does start. We need to, I need to start definitely taking track of it because you lose it every time you turn.
Well, I was about to say, I know where I would fail. I would forget to reduce speed because at the end of that, the total movement, they made another turn,
Right.
and I would forget to decrease and that's why the rules are written the way they are. That way,
I guess
you have
technically
to
you
you
could.
have to lose,
Well, it's where you end up. So it's either I stay like that and I'm 15, or I go like that and I'm
and then you're 12
12.
or whatever it is. Yeah, I get it. I mean, it makes sense to me. It's easy enough to game with.
Oh, man.
But yeah, you're right. The marker's a good idea.
All right. So then I'll do the same over here, and that's actually how we're gonna do torpedoes once we get to that fun stuff.
Oh wow, yeah.
So yeah, what I'm gonna do with torpedoes is I would mark it from
Well,
where it's launching, and then this is where it would head, right? And then these guys would still
what do we got
continue.
here?
As a matter of fact, I need to look up the ranges.
Azuma, Tokiwa.
So these guys are still 14. I think they're just gonna make a beeline because they want to just
Yeah.
get ahead of them. Really,
I mean, their
So,
aspect stays
14.
good if they keep moving.
I might even speed them up.
They got guns
Are
to
they
bear
maximum?
for sure.
Let's see their maximum. Just want to check their maximum.
What are you
think
looking up?
I am looking up their maximum speed just to see that they are 20 knot max. Yeah, they are. Okay, so I might even speed them up because they saw them doing jig jaggy stuff. So I'm gonna. Oop, that's not what I wanted to do. Another good reason to have the marker. Alright, so I'm gonna actually speed them up because they want to be harder to hit.
Mm-hmm.
So, so let's just say where they're going 18, and this is gonna be interesting because they're gonna cross the T a little
Oh
bit.
man, yeah, this is fixing to turn into a blender.
Yeah. Alright, so we will do that. Alright. Just because we've been kind of doing it anyway, we'll give the Japanese the honors. Let's see, we're getting closer now. Alright, that's 37. I think the effective torpedo range is what, 500 yards? Let's go look at that real quick.
Sorry.
Let's go look at some of these torpedo ranges. I think they're. Oh yeah, you can get them to go 30. Oh wow, you can get them to go out to 33 inches if you make them go 15 knots.
Oh, so fuel efficiency, right?
Yeah, you
Yeah.
can set this type in particular.
Yeah, I haven't read through the torpedo section yet, so
So we got one per mount, and they are mounted port and
port and
side. So
stern.
two port and starboard.
Oh, starboard,
Two
yeah.
two tubes, and I think they're underwater, which actually is nice because then you won't see the splash. The Russians won't see the splashes. Oop.
Oh wow, they are underwater. You're
Yeah,
right.
they're submerged.
Cool.
So I think there's still. I think that's the only time in the rules that they say you can actually see them, which is a little odd. I mean, so in other words, when they're within, like here,
Mm-hmm.
you would think if within 100 yards of just visually, and there might be a rule for it. I'll look it up there. But the only thing it called out was whether or not you would see the launch, and you'd only see it on the ones that are off the deck or tube
I
level.
could, for the sake of simplicity, I could buy that, but yeah, seems
I would think
yeah,
that within, as long as it's clear out, I would think as long as the sea state is only a certain amount, I would think you would see it at least
sure.
here. So in other words, if it only got, so let's go see how fast they are too while we're sitting here. So at 15 knots, they're going to go 15 inches max. So then, so you're talking like, yeah, you probably would not see it here necessarily. I think it would take an eagle eye to see it at this point. But it's sea state 2. So if the torpedo in one turn, if he would have to fire it like this.
What depth do those things run at? Do you know? But what a weird question, right? That isn't probably
Um,
relevant. I mean,
I
I could
don't think it.
rationalize it that way.
Yeah, I don't know. A couple meters, I think at most. I wouldn't think it would.
Yeah, I wouldn't think it'd be
It's
very
definitely
deep.
not. Yeah, I'm sure they mention it in here. They mention everything else. So, uh, I'll, we get down to the deep, I might read the whole darn chapter to everybody.
Yeah, I was about to say I'll write a note
No,
to
it's
follow
just
up to.
all right. So we're back on primary. All right, let's double check. I don't want to shortchange them. I think I've been shortchanging people. So the primary is fore and aft. I think aft does get it because he's so far forward. No, it probably won't. Let's do that. Let's check that. Again, we're checking whether or not the primary.
I almost wonder if it wouldn't be. And by the way, this is a great asset pack for TTS, but I don't know. I guess it breaks reality, but or a submersion of reality, but like leave those just under the damn ships and lock them together. But I don't know. It's not as cool looking that way.
Yeah, right. That's what we're going for.
Yeah, I
No,
mean,
I'm just. All right, so the aft would be 45 degree. I think he's got it. Yeah, he can he can do his aft mount turret all the way up to 45 degrees. Let's just double check that. Yeah, see that? So you
yeah, it's a
fire
big
both
arc,
primaries.
right?
Yeah. But that was why that's why they kind of sped ahead. All right, so let's get this out of the way for a little bit. All right, so we're gonna have two primaries coming at you. Now they don't interfere with their own because, well, it's the same gunner. What's our distance now? 37. Takes it into the 18% base. Check speed because it might even be worse now. Okay, their own speed and firing ship
Oh.
speed at 18 is -2. So that was
Yeah.
probably not smart on me, but it will be harder to hit. All right, so then broad, I think we definitely are. Actually, no, it might be quarter. Where's my other one? Yep, it's quarter. For both, I think. Front turret's probably around. Oh, let's do a center. Ooh, yeah, just barely.
You saying just barely quarter or just barely broad? It's quarter, right?
Quarter, just barely.
Yeah. Okay.
And I'm gonna just for normally I'd probably do watch here. I'd probably do instead of automatic, I would do free, and I'd probably say
Sure.
the turret's actually here, and that's definitely a quarter, and then the turret's probably
I
here.
I would buy that. That makes
And then,
sense.
so they're both quarter. Yeah.
Yeah.
I like to use the auto just for ranging. All right. All right. So what does quarter do instead? So quarter aspect at 18 is -1. No, that's target modifier. They are only at 12. So it's +1, actually. It's always based on a target at that point. Alright, so we are base 18, -2 for speed, +1 for quarter. Just make sure I didn't mess anything else up. It's not a slow fire. The 8-inch is not a slow fire. It's not a quick fire either. Number of barrels firing is, I guess technically I could combine them, but it's no. I'm gonna do it per turret like I originally said. Alright, so 0, 0. Alright.
Yeah.
So we're at -1. Oh man, the base chances are still so slow, so small. 22. It's still a very good roll, but it's not gonna hit it. It's a pretty good roll, pretty good attempt, very close.
Yeah.
Alright, so then
Definitely.
that was the primaries, and then now we're going to do the bow and stern, and okay, so we're going to do 2 secondary rolls. Let's just speed it up. First secondary roll, what do I get? Nope. Second secondary. Second secondary. Nope. We move on. Azuma. Do I have the Azuma yet? Make sure it's the same thing. Yep, 8-inch. 4 and aft. I do believe he got it. I think he would probably fire on him. But he would get the 300-yard difference.
Nope. Wow.
It's a 300-yard difference, and I think it's broad instead of quarter. So just kind of notice the differences here, right? And then, of course, if I did it free look, primary and forward probably is quarter.
Oh yeah.
Primary and back is broad.
Yep.
Okay. So that's another reason to do it separately. So what's the difference between those two? And the target's at 12. So it's +1 for the quarter one. So let's go ahead and... Alright, I think it's the same modifiers. Roughly.
12 to 15 depth on the torpedoes, real quick, just so you know.
12 to 15 meters?
Feet.
Feet? Okay.
Yeah.
Makes sense. Alright. You don't want to get below the keel, right?
No, right, yeah.
I still just... Let's just do the primary. Ooh, that might have got it. That definitely got it. A 9. That definitely hit.
Oh, nice.
Even with... and as I said before, I'm firing the Rossiya, so...
Mm-hmm.
Even with the modifier for that... We got a hit. Alright. So that was the 4. I was here, right? And that was the first primary roll?
I wasn't paying attention. I was looking at the torpedo. Sorry.
Yeah, no, okay. A miss on the second. And then... secondary. No. Secondary. No. So it's the first turret. Basically one hit, really. One hit wonder.
It's better than no hits.
Alright, so let's go look at Rossiya. It's DP. It's got 14F. Let's go look at that. It's got 14F. It's not going to hit the deck. That if we had arced it at extreme range or long range, we could potentially have hit the deck armor. 14F. And it was the Azuma with its primary 4 penetration. We are at medium, so we definitely got it because this is the modified penetration for the F. If it was not F, this would have been a penetration. If it is F, then it is the second of the two in the annex information. So we definitely penetrated as well. So now we need to go look at damage. And honestly, this is probably the first time I've done this in these demos. Alright, so damage results pointer. Must penetrate it for the hit before it can do internal. Then we do a critical damage ratio check. Okay. So were we both on the Rossiya? Yes, we were. So it took how much damage from... No, not Azuma. Alright, how much damage? Are we medium? I think we are medium. So it's 19 damage. And what is the Rossiya's total?
Peter, good luck. I've got to run downstairs. I appreciate you doing this.
Yeah, I'll
Thanks,
probably do about an hour's worth more, and then you can probably just watch the video later for where I got with it. All right. Let's see. Why am I not seeing that? No, it's down here. Wow, 383. So we took 19. So 19 364. It's way down to 0.1. guess it's below the. Yeah, below this. Basically, I need to roll a 6 to get a crit. 364. And I gotta roll for 1 crit. So if I get a 6 on this, I get a crit. No, I do not. Do not get a crit. Okay, that was the Azuma, and I believe. Yep, nothing else hit there. So it just takes the damage, and it doesn't take any more. Okay, this is what I did. I did this. Once the number of critical hits is determined, I didn't really get one. Something to keep in mind later is that a torpedo hit will gives an automatically a crit flooding. First go hit from such an attack. Okay, there you go. Effective massive damage, blah blah blah. And there's the armor penetration roll. Whatever, I'm not using that. Okay, I think we're good as far as that. So that was the Azuma's firing. The Tokiwa will fire on the Groma boy. At 4,200. 16% base. Its own speed is 18. So it's -2. And it's already there. What's the aspect from here to here? I believe that would be. Okay, we're going to look at the primary, the front and back. Let's see, who is this? This is Takiwa. He's got the same thing, but he's got 40 cal. So these are the 8-inch fore and aft. So the fore and aft, I will go ahead and free look it. Okay. Forward would be, I think it's just in the quarter. Aft would be in the broad. Okay. So the forward one, let's just roll for it. 50, no, aft. Ooh, 15 might get it. 15 might get it. Let's do it. So the base was 16, -2 for speed, +1 for the back was broad. So let's just double check the broad. At 18 is still, it's -2. Target modifier -2. Wow, I hope that might take it down. One second, is that the target speed? Let's double check that. The target speed though is 12, so it's actually 0. So we don't have that. Double check the range. Yeah, base 16. Just want to make sure my base was right. I don't think it's gonna work. Nope. Make sure it's not a. Yeah, it's no modifiers. Alright, that missed just barely. God, it was a good roll too. Alright, so it's secondaries. First roll for the secondaries. Nope. Second roll for the secondaries. Nope. Alright, so we're back to Awate. Awate will fire on the Rurik. Okay. These are for primary and secondary firing on him. Let's just go for it. Primary 4. Ooh, a 13. No, actually it's a 0 and 3. So that definitely hit primary. Primary 4 hit from the Awate. We are within medium. I think it's a. I think the Rurik is a. Oh, he's a 12-3. He doesn't have the newer armor, so it definitely penetrates. Awate primary front. We'll do 19 points of damage. 0 to 1 tube does that as well. Let's go look at the Rurik's DP. Again, probably huge, 315. So 296 left. And then we do 19 out of 296. I think it's probably like a 0.05-ish. Yeah, 0.06, still below the 10 mark there. So we do, again, we're at the, gotta roll 6 for a crit. Nope, no crit. He is damaged though. Okay. Got a hit on that. That was the primary forward. Primary aft. Secondary turret. Secondary casemate. No. Okay, we're good. Alright, so we're done over here. Okay, back at ya. Okay. Let's see what we got with the primary here. So the primary on the Russia. Important. I don't think it's aft can get him. actually. Yep. Okay. Alright, let's just roll primary. Primary back. Ooh, an 11. Okay, I think the primary back got him. I don't even think I need to check that. Yeah, I think I got him there. Let's double check that to be absolutely sure. They're going 12. Only a -1 on that. Okay, -1 for own speed. Base is 16%, but let me double check that. Oop. 3,700. Base 18. See, this is where it starts to. I think he definitely has it based on that. Own speed, target, and aspect. Are they quick fire? They're not quick fire. They're not slow. Although, let's check that. The Rossia's primary front is a 203 1892. So it is not slow firing. We just went to that own speed. Look at that. Okay, so then the target aspect was broad. Yeah, it goes through. It hits it on the corner. I'm going to say that's broad. Target speed was 18, no broad 18, -1. That's that. So -1 is -4, so 14%, and I rolled 11, so I definitely hit him. So, okay, so how much damage does that do at this range? That is the Russia. We're still medium range. So that is 20. He definitely penetrates. Okay, so that's 20 on Itsumo. What is its max? So we're at 311. Oh, 331. But let's check. I think we're going to be on that same chart. Did not get a crit. Okay, so that was the primary front. This is the primary rear. Secondary turret. Secondary casemates. No. Alright, let's move on. Okay. Alright, we are going going to fire primary. Let's just roll through it. Primary front. Can the primary aft get him? Yes. Okay, so primary front. 21. Come back to that. Primary rear. 50. Okay. Secondary turret. No. Secondary casemates. Definitely no. So I think we got potentially, they rolled a 21 base. Let's check everything. Groma Boy. Okay, Groma Boy hitting 42. Base 16. Okay, own speed is 12 at that point. Neg 1 for speed, probably still on there, yeah. What is the target aspect? Is broad. I believe that is correct. Even from the primary or from the fore and for the bow and the aft. Bow stern turrets. So broad, what's broad do at that speed? The target speed is 18. This is where it's gonna neg 2. This is where I don't think it's gonna get it. All right, so then it was a 16. So it was a 16% base hit from Groma Boy. Neg 1 for its own speed. Neg 2 for its target speed and aspect. Roll the 21. Definitely didn't get it, right? Because that's neg 3. That's 6 from that. It's 10% chance. Yeah. All right. Oh well. Next. All right. Okay. Pretty good. Getting better at it, of course, towards the end. And we're firing on. I don't know which one he would fire on. He's got either. They were already fired upon, right? I think we'll probably fire on that. Get a slightly better chance. Okay. Let's see, primary. Nope, primary aft. Ooh. Oh, I thought that was better. Secondary turrets. Nope. Casemate turrets. Ooh, 13. Casemates might have got it. Okay. Base. Let's double check the base. 47. Okay, 16%. Okay, own speed. I think it's neg 1. Neg 2 for broad. I think that's right. 18. So that's. Oh, I still don't think it gets it. That's still a 10% chance. And again, that's primarily due to the aspect and the speed of the target. That's what really knocked it down. If they didn't have that bad, he probably would have got it. Nope, that's a miss. Alright, I'm actually starting to get the evil eye here from the family to get off, so I'm going to go ahead and end. But this has been very informative. I believe I will continue this at some point, even as a solo. But I am going to go ahead and stop. I enjoyed it very much. Thanks everybody for attending.